on birthday, Dormouse. Very, very happy on birthday, Alice. Every fucking day with you people.
Well, I'm really overdue for a trip to Disney.
Alright, you guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm gonna pee and come back. And then we can get started.
Oh, Cameron, that picture you sent us about Trump was...
How do you build a space wall?
Can I just open this? That would be awesome.
Guys, we're supposed to be talking amongst ourselves.
Oh, I thought they had
words.
Words and stuff. Stuff and
Remembering
words.
is not talking.
Don't say mole. I said mole.
You can't say happiness without penis.
So, what's the likelihood, do we think, of my character rolling good at all, ever?
What are the chances of Hillary Clinton getting elected?
Oh God, that's...
Well, considering after the fact, that's, you know, probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
Although, technically, when you talk about the Electoral College, they're supposed to be able to choose whether or not they can elect, they would elect the person that the people in their district voted for. Technically, it's never happened where they voted for somebody other than who got the
vote. A few
vote.
individuals have actually in the past, but it's never known the vote enough to become like a huge part of history. But it's actually happened many times that like an individual elector voted for someone other than who he had pledged to vote for, or that he had suggested he was going to vote for ahead of the time.
Well, there's two states, my home state of Maine being one of them, Nebraska being the other, where the Electoral College is actually split between counties.
Which really, I think, is the same way to do it.
Yeah, well, because like Maine has 4, and so there's 4 districts, and however those districts vote is how.
And I think winner takes all is absolutely bonkers. If we're gonna have the Electoral College, it shouldn't be winner takes all.
I will say this: although I'm happy we got Trump over Clinton, even though I don't like Trump, I still think the Electoral College is broken.
Yes. Well,
I'm one of those people that's all for no Electoral College, and then everyone yells at me when I say that because it protects smaller states' rights. And I said, I don't understand how you can lump states together if we're literally counting every individual person's votes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then they're like, well, because this big city has way more population than Wyoming, and so Wyoming's votes don't matter. And I'm like, no, but each individual person's vote matters.
Yeah, and so if you take the obverse of that argument, you're talking, okay, then that means that everybody in these cities' votes matter less than a random person in Wyoming. I mean,
and it's like, and they're like, well, and people are like, well, because these, most of the country voted for Trump, but these big cities voted for Clinton, and so Clinton would have won. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what you're saying, although it kind of does happen that way a lot of the time, what you're essentially saying is that everyone in this one city is of the same mindset, so we can't allow their votes in that city to count as much. I'm like, what? You can't. I mean, sure, maybe in a region people do have similar mindsets, but
and that was more an accurate characterization of the way things happened in the past. Where yes, in the past when we weren't so globalized, Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, okay, Philadelphia will vote for Thomas Jefferson, and then Maine will vote for, some local
Well,
Maine guy.
also when they set it up, first of all, they didn't trust people to vote intelligently, so that's part of the reason they did it.
That's why
And
there's the
also,
Electoral
I still
College.
don't trust most
Also-
people to vote
But
intelligently.
well, that's true. But also, it was logistics, because it's a lot harder to get a vote from every single person and then ride it on horseback to this place and then have someone tabulate them all and then ride it on horseback to this place. Now we have the internet. It's quite a bit easier. Anyways,
My big problem. I just want to weigh in.
your points, yeah.
The Electoral College is slightly broken only because we run on a two-party system, which is literally the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Yeah. If we had, we have what, 10 different kinds of Coca-Cola, but we're lumped into 2 different political parties. I mean,
That's why I've
kidding
been
me?
pushing third party so much in this election and stuff. And I think I'm thinking people saw during this election that third party votes did make a difference. So hopefully that'll allow that to become a bigger deal in the future. But
I'm hoping.
I don't
Honestly,
see
the
that
problem
coming.
is I don't see America pushing anything other than the 2 quote unquote 3 political party system anytime soon.
of course not, because everyone's set in their ways and they refuse to accept that anyone else might have a valid point ever. So
The problem is it's going to, something in this government, in the political system, is going to go horridly wrong, and it's finally going to open the eyes of a lot of people. And
I mean,
sure.
what we
honestly,
really
I
need
kind
to
of hope
take
it
a look
happens in
at-
our lifetime, but I don't think it's going to.
What
Oh, it's
would
gonna
really
happen.
be a radical change would be if we actually ended up with a proportional representation scheme, rather than it would be in the House and the Senate, rather than everybody, all of these districts are voting independently for one of 2 parties. You lump all the groups to make like a super district, and then you take the percentage who voted for the main parties, and then as it goes down, you assign representatives according to the percentage who voted for that party.
the other thing is, I mean, I wonder what would have happened if those 46% of eligible voters that didn't vote would have voted.
Well, and if you want them to vote, you're going to have to get rid of the Electoral College, because they're not going to vote if they feel like their vote doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yep. And I think also they need, especially in this election, but they need to have more options to vote for.
Well, what I'd like to see on the state and local, the more local levels, especially with the state, is remove the party affiliation from the people's names. Get rid of the ability to downvote by party line, because you have to know who your person is at least.
See, and
That would be good.
I'm kind of torn on that one, because the system that I advocate for is proportional representation, where you're voting for your party rather than you're voting for an individual. And the way that ends up panning out is that once your party receives their allotment of representatives, they get to choose which representatives will fill the slots.
See, my problem with that is that I refuse to claim a party, because my opinions can change over time, and a person might represent a party, such as Donald Trump. I'm usually I don't classify myself as Republican, but I'm usually very right leaning.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I do not. And if I was Republican, I would have been required essentially to vote for Trump in the primaries. And although we didn't do the primaries anyways, but it's like,
Well, it's like,
I don't like that.
had Mitt Romney run in this election against Hillary, I have never thought about voting conservative. It's that just the whole party does not fall into my belief system. But if Mitt Romney ran against Hillary, for sure I'm voting for Mitt Romney.
I would tell you this: if Bernie Sanders hadn't been kicked out, I probably would have voted for Bernie.
I think
He was the Democrat who
he completely would have won.
The Democratic Party is all mad that Trump won. They screwed themselves over by picking Clinton over Sanders. That's why they lost.
Well,
Anyway, let's do that's enough politics, and that's pissing me
Yeah.
off. Even though we're having a very cordial discussion, politics just makes me angry.
This is probably the most fun conversation I've had aside from with my wife.
No, and I think it's going to be our generation that really has to fix the political system, because we're able to look at things like this objectively in this fashion.
Well,
Yeah.
we are, but there's enough of our generation that's not.
Well, yes,
that
but I mean,
way.
think about the percentage of our generation that can do it versus the percentage of our parents' generation
That's true.
versus the
It's true.
percentage of the generation before them.
It's growing. I don't know if it'll be our generation, but we'll be the ones that started at the very
well, I
least.
mean,
I hope so.
if you take a look at our generation, we're the ones who were grown. We grew up with multiculturalism and pluralism sort of
Yeah.
drilled into us. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's what I mean. Is like our generation is going to change it, because by the time our generation is in the position where we're running for these political parties, we're going to have started this movement. You know, we're the ones that are advocating for like the multi-party system, the proportional systems, and all this kind of stuff. And everybody below us will have even more of that ingrained in them as generations go. So,
Jareth, where are you going? So you guys ready for a little D&D?
Yep.
I'm gonna blow something up.
I was sleeping in my tent.
I'm actually probably going to put a stick of dynamite on my hammer and hit something with it.
Okay.
I don't have dynamite.
No, I'm gonna tie. What's that fire stuff we were playing with the last time?
Oh, Alchemist Fire.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna put that on the end of my hammer. I'm gonna hit something with it.
All right. So
Oh yeah, man.
Sounds
I pitched,
like a really-
I pitched my tent right in the middle of the town.
boner tent.
every
Nice. That's
Oh,
a
are you streaming tonight?
Yeah.
a nice tent you got there.
all right.
It would
So,
be a shame if somebody tore it down.
recap from last time. You all had entered this random village that you came across, and
We killed dumb fuck and then we killed a bunch of zombies.
yeah, pretty much. Good recap.
Good recap. 3 hours worth of work.
That's what happened. He was an idiot and got himself killed.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really expect the wrath of Jareth.
He shot an arrow at me. What does he expect people to do when they get shot at? Turn
Die,
around and say, thanks.
die, and then get fed to the zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how'd that one work out for him?
Pretty
So then-
well up until he met you guys.
So then, well, here's the question though. Then why, when he missed and failed miserably, and I gave him the opportunity to not die, did he choose die? That's the real question.
He chose the death option.
He chose death.
I can't speak in his place, mostly because he's dead.
But you are him. You created him.
Well, yeah, Cameron, technically, according to a lot of people, God created you, but he definitely does not speak through you.
How do you know? Maybe he does.
Let's see.
Is your God Beelzebub?
My full name is Beelzebub, but you can call me Beels.
I love to take walks on the beach and
Clubbing baby seals.
All right, Barrick, I'm
All right.
looking over there.
I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna play that doo 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 thing on my bagpipes.
Well, as you guys wake up,
Uh-oh.
you notice that something feels off about your packs that you've been carrying. And you
Insight
notice
check. I noticed nothing.
that no, I've already rolled this for you guys before.
Oh,
I might have had a
Oh.
problem.
You notice your packs feel a little bit lighter than they did before. Before you went to bed.
Do we have bandits? Nobody fucking kept watch.
No.
Son of a bitch.
So
We were tired and we fucked
I'm gonna-
that one up.
What is missing from my pack? Is there anything missing from my pack? Keep
all
in
right.
mind, I do not keep my money in my pack.
No. Fausto, you've noticed that an ornate magnifying glass has gone missing.
Son of a bitch.
Isley had 2 gemstones that are now gone. Barrick, you've got a glowing potion that just